What's up, everybody? This is Rico from Rix Magazine. We're over here at the New York Auto Show 2019 season. We're going to see some amazing cars, some amazing industrial builds, definitely for the market. But we want to take you on a little ride with us, walk around, check out what's for the season for 2019. But again, we're going to start you from the beginning and to the end. So come follow us, and we're going to take this to another level.
What's up, guys? My name is Chad Fishburne. I'm a product specialist with Nissan, and we're hanging out with Rix Magazine here at the New York International Auto Show. I'm standing in front of the GTR Dream Garage. Why is it the GTR Dream Garage? Just take a look. Right here behind me, we've got the 50th anniversary GTR in Bayside Blue. You can get it in 3 different colors: Super Silver, Pearl White, but it is absolutely amazing. You can see these wheels have a blue finish to them, and around the back, if you guys get a shot of that, the titanium exhaust has actually been burnished to have a blue hue to it. It looks absolutely stunning, but anybody familiar with the GTR franchise, the Bayside Blue is an iconic color. Right above it, you can see that R32. That's the one that earned the nickname GTR. In Japan and Australia, we're talking about multiple championships across the board. In Japan alone, 29 races. Every single race it entered, it won all of them. Talking about serious performance and racing heritage, you can't do better than that. We won't even get into Australia. There's multiple championships there as well. Right over here in silver, let's do a little walk and talk down here. That one is the one that launched at the LA show back in 2008. This is a 2009 model, 480 horsepower. We've been bumping it up every year since then. The current model, 565 horsepower, but that's before we get to the what? The Nismo. Keeping on going down the line. 2020 Nismo, 600 horsepower, finally got carbon ceramic brakes. 16.1 inch rotors in the front, 15.3 inch in the back. Can it stop on a dime? Yes, it can. It's absolutely stunning. More carbon fiber in the roof. We've got it in the rear fascia, the front fascia, the side sills. It's probably easier to tell you where we don't have carbon fiber in the GTR Nismo. For people that are coming to the show, we have a very limited edition GTR 50. There's only 50 being made, 720 horsepower based on the GTR Nismo from 2020, so it still has those carbon ceramic brakes. Over $1 million. We'll get you one. So if you have that kind of cash, congratulations, number one. Number two, come to the show and we'll tell you who to talk to so you can get one for yourself. But the bottom line is, come and check out the GTR Dream Garage right here at Nissan.
Russo here with Rix Magazine, of course part of the 370Z Zone. Why 370Z Zone? Well, we're talking a little bit about heritage here at the New York Auto Show. 50 years ago, 5 decades ago, a Japanese sports car made an impact right here at the New York Auto Show, and it was, of course, the Datsun 240Z. 6 generations later, the 240, the 280ZX, 2 versions of the 300ZX, the 350Z, and now the 370Z as our current version. We decided to have a 50th anniversary special. That's right, a 2020 370Z that you can see right behind me. And if you see the coloration, we're going to walk around it a little bit, paying homage to the Datsun vehicles, race cars back in the 1960s and early 70s, the BRE race team. So you're going to see the red and white two-tone paint. You're going to see the BRE stripes on the side of it. Super nice look on the outside. And as well as that, you've got this. You've got the Datsun 240Z Historic Edition, so 50 years in between the two, and then this edition that is only going to actually have 50 of this specific color combination made. And the first 2020 off the line 50th anniversary is going to go to the head of Brock Racing, or head of BRE. Peter Brock is actually going to get that, so it's pretty cool stuff. The vehicle, as you can see with this 370Z with the two-tone paint on the inside, there's also a lot of special treatment on that as well. You've got red piping as well as red stitching, and then a lot of emblems with the 50th anniversary paying homage to the Z's of past. So you've got history, and then you've got what it's come to 50 years later. Double the power, actually, which is kind of fun to think about. 151 horsepower on that original 240Z, and now, of course, 332 on the current 370Z.
Hey everybody, my name's Tarek. I'm here with Rix Magazine. I work for Koenigsegg. I'm the sales director. I'd like to introduce to you our new creation, the Koenigsegg Jesko. It's a brand new design. We've actually made the car a little bit bigger and wider. It's specifically for the US. Everyone in the US seems to be a bit bigger, and so we decided to make the car a little bit longer, more spacious inside, so bigger people can fit in the car. So it's a brand new monocoque. We've also given the car a lot more aerodynamic grip. We've got bigger wings, we've got an aerodynamic feature in the front of the car which creates a lot more downforce. We've been able to balance that with a larger rear wing. So the car now creates what about in pounds? It's about just under 2,000 pounds of downforce at 155 miles an hour. Which gives the car a tremendous amount of grip in the corners. We also have a new gearbox in the car. It's pretty revolutionary stuff, actually. The gearbox is very small, very compact. It's got 9 speeds and 7 clutches. So you get the quick gear change like a dual clutch gearbox, but without the weight penalty of a dual clutch gearbox. We're also able to skip gears in this car. So if you're cruising along in 9th gear at 100 miles an hour and you want to, accelerate super quick, you just pull on the gear lever and the car will downshift in 1 gear change to the optimum gear. So you could be driving along at 100 miles an hour in 9th gear, push the gear lever forward, and the car will change into 5th gear, put your foot down, car will be off like a bullet. We also have a new a pneumatic anti-lag system, so we've got big turbos on the engine. Obviously, big turbos give big power, big turbos also give a lot of lag. We've been able to overcome the lag by having a carbon fiber air tank that's kept under pressure at 20 bars of pressure with a electric compressor, and then that squirts air into the turbo at 20 bar when the turbo's off boost. So we're always able to keep the turbo spinning even when there's not enough energy going through the turbo to keep it spinning. So we do it pneumatically with air. It's a very lightweight solution and you get instant power anytime you touch the accelerator. So those are really the new technical highlights of the car. With this car we're going to do, this is the ring version, so it's geared towards performance driving on the track. It'll do 250 miles an hour. We also have another variant that we're going to show later on in the year. That's going to be called the 300. So that will have less aerodynamic grip, so you'll have smaller wings. You'll also have slightly longer gears. That car will have the a 1600 horsepower engine. This car's got a 1380 horsepower engine, upgradable to 1600 horsepower. But the 300 version is called the 300 because it's going to do 300 miles an hour. That's super exciting. So the customer can choose. You can choose which one you want. Do you want something that's more for the track, or do you want something that's more for top speed? We're going to make 125 of these beauties, and they're all sold out, unfortunately. So we haven't got anything left, but we've got more stuff in store for the future, so don't worry.
Hi, I'm Jim Glickenhaus. I'm very happy to be working with you guys at Rix Magazine and telling you all about my car. We're a very small car company. We started many years ago designing one-off cars. Our first car was Ferrari P45 by Pininfarina, and then after that we said, hey, can we make a car by ourselves from the ground up, and a race car, and that you can legally drive on the road. We love driving race cars on the road, and that's what this is. This is SCG 003S. It's a road legal version of our competition car, so we actually call it a CS. I drove it here. This car we drove from Sleepy Hollow, New York, our factory, up the West Side Highway, into the building, parked it on this thing. And this car has 52,000 race kilometers. It raced in Nuremberg 24 hours 3 times, finished first in class 3 times, second overall once, and then we road converted it, and it has over 20,000 road miles on it. We drive it all over. And here's the thing about it. In a GT3 race car, what you want to do is you want to funnel the air, not over the roof to the wing. You want to funnel it around the car to the wing, which accelerates it and gives you more downforce. And the thing about this car is it's a very high downforce car. When you drive it, you are really pushed into the ground, and it makes 1,200 kilograms of net downforce, almost its weight. You could almost drive this car upside down at speed. Now, the reason that this makes a car fun is you don't need massive amounts of horsepower to go fast on a racetrack. It still has a good amount of horsepower. The road version has about 750 horsepower, which frankly is the most horsepower that a road legal tire can put down. But that's what we do. We make real race cars, make them road legal, and we offer them for sale. And we also make a really cool version of Steve McQueen's Baja Boot, which is the most radical Baja truck off-road thing ever made. We made a road legal version, and we're going to race the Baja 1000 in it this November. And if you come around, you can see some of the things, like the blue carbon fiber. Our carbon fiber manufacturers in Bristol, Rhode Island, and they make parts for US America Cup boats. So when people say, how strong is it? Well, I say, you know, look at one of those US America Cup racers going into the wind at 40 knots, and you can see it's pretty strong. And the blue is a beautiful tinted ink that we put into the clear, and we clear the carbon fiber, and you can see all of the weave and the natural structure of the car. We do things that make it practical. You know, if you drive on the street, you're always praying in the nose, scraping your carbon fiber. So we use Formula One planking, which attaches. It's a very high density wood. It's called EPI. It runs in strips under the car. So if you hit it, you sacrifice the wood, you don't scratch the carbon fiber. It's $800, not $16,000. We have front and rear lifters. So you come to a speed bump, you hit the button, you can go over the thing, you can get into a driveway. And then as you come around, we do things like a tow hook, because you're gonna have a bad day. You're gonna break down. Well, this, you can pull out the tow hook and put yourself on a flatbed, and at least it's not a disaster. So as you're coming around, you can see this customer wanted the race doors, which if you pull those orange things, which please don't do, the whole door comes off and you can get out very quickly. You can open it from the inside. And you can see from this interior, as you come around the car, that it's really very race car-like. You know, we have mirrors so you can see out the back, but we also have screens next to the driver, so you can use them as rear view screens. You can see things very carefully. On the outside of the car, we have a fuel gauge, an oil gauge, so when you're filling the car, you don't splash the gasoline and set the car on fire. If you need oil, you see that the gauge goes down, you add oil. This, if you're racing, they're different colors for different cars, so we know which car it is at night. And as you see, it's a really very functional car. It's very easy to work on. You can take it apart with simple hand tools. You can repair it yourself. And we also make a much more luxurious interior. We make them one at a time. Whatever a customer wants, we do it. And then we have a little less expensive. This is a crazy, stupid, expensive car because it's so complicated to make and it costs us so much money to make. But we're making a $460,000 three-seater sports car that's really cool. Center driver, 2 passengers. You can get it with a stick shift, 650 horsepower in basic trim, 840 horsepower in a little bit of a step up. And then we make the boot that starts at about $250. We build them, and we're a New York State manufacturer, and that's who we are. We're Scuderia Cameron Glickenhaus. Scuderia stands for Racing Stable. The C is my wife Cameron, and I'm Glickenhaus.
Hi, I'm Neil Briggs. I'm Director of Product Development and co-founder of Briggs Automotive Company. I'm here with Rix Magazine. I'm going to tell you all about our amazing mono single-seat supercar. We just launched it here today at the New York Auto Show. I'm going to walk you around and tell you a little bit about the car, its performance, its details, and so on. So let's go. So we're starting at the front. The first thing you'll notice is that the car only has one seat. So the vehicle architecture on this car basically draws its inspiration from Formula style racing cars. So Indy cars, Formula One, etc. It's exactly the same layout. The driver sits in the middle. It has a semi-stress bearing engine, and then it has a 6-speed transmission at the rear. All of those components are positioned along the center line of the vehicle for optimum handling and weight distribution. The engine itself is a 2.5 litre normally aspirated 4-cylinder engine. It produces 305 horsepower. It's made by Mount Tune, based in California here in the US. And that's coupled with a 6-speed semi-automatic 6-speed gearbox, which is operated via 2 paddles on the steering wheel. The steering wheel is removable. So I'm going to walk you through some of the details here. Has everything that we need on the steering wheel for the car to be road legal: indicators, lights, starter button, etc., etc. And then on the back here we have the paddle. So on the right it's the upshift, and left on the downshift. We also have some really nice features here: launch control, an auto upshift feature here, and all of the communication from the steering wheel goes through that connector right there, right down the steering column to the engine control unit and the body control unit for us to operate the car. The car comes with twin wishbone suspension all around via a push rod suspension system, so you can see the suspension right here, and it's fully adjustable, so we can make the suspension softer or harder depending on the conditions. We also, in the cockpit, we have a brake bias, which allows us to change the bias of the brakes towards the front or towards the rear, depending on whether the track conditions are wet or whether they're dry. On the interior, we also have something very unique. The seat is actually made to measure to the customer. So this car can house someone from 5 foot tall all the way up to 6'6". One of our customers is 250 pounds. He's 6'6", and he fits absolutely perfectly in the car. The pedal box is completely adjustable. So we have 3 conventional pedals, a clutch, brake, and an accelerator. They're all adjustable. As indeed the steering column is also adjustable, so we can change the rake and also the reach to suit the particular requirements of the driver. Let's move a little bit towards the rear, and we're going to show you a little bit now about the engine and the gearbox. The gearbox is 6-speed, as I said, but what we can do is we can change the gear ratios inside the gearbox to suit your particular track. So for example, if your favorite track is, say, Laguna Seca, or whether it's the Nürburgring, Silverstone, wherever it is, we can basically tailor those gear ratios for your particular track. Just to give you some idea in terms of the performance of this car, it's the fastest rear-wheel drive accelerating car in the world. So the car basically accelerates from 0 to 60 miles an hour in 2.7 seconds, top speed of 170 miles an hour. But arguably what's more impressive with this car is how the car brakes, how the car steers, and how it corners and how it handles. And to put that into perspective, this car has travelled around various circuits around the world, and we have 7 production car world lap records at various circuits around the world, from Sepang in Malaysia through to places like Silverstone and various other different circuits around the world. As I said, the car is road legal, so you can legally drive this car on the road. You can drive it in the US. We already have 16 cars here, and we're here today launching with Manhattan Motor Cars here in New York, with Brian Miller and his team are doing an exceptional job to distribute this car all the way along the east coast of the US. So we're a very proud moment for us all, and we're delighted to be part of the show.
Hi, my name is Calvin from Crown Auto. I'm here with Rix Magazine, and this is our S2000. It has a full Voltex circuit version 3 wide body kit. Currently, right now, we are working on the powertrain to make the aero more effective. It was a 2-week build from paint to installation. Interior is gutted, just has 2 bucket grid seats, and everything is functional on this vehicle. And hopefully we'll bring it out to one of the Rix Magazine's shows.
All right, so once again, that was an amazing tour. We covered as much as we can. This was just too many vehicles, too many cars out there. But again, we did our best, like always. It takes at least 2 or 3 days to cover the whole venue. But we just want to say thank you, and we're looking forward to seeing you for it next year. Thank you. Rix Magazine, Rix Mag, www.rixmag.com. Take care, guys.